What's going on, guys? Nick Dark here with Forex League, and we're going to get into a EURJPY trade review for this past week. Okay, so just to start off, you can see that it had played out to its final take profit level, 2-to-1 risk reward. But let's just start at the top. Let's just identify everything that's going on here. So off the bat, daily time frame, very, very bearish, right? So our initial indication would have been to short, look for short positions, but we saw a transition happen on a 4-hour time frame. So let's drop down to a 4-hour. We saw that this lower high here, which is playing into the daily trend, was broken, right? So this was the first part of the transition. Large bullish volume breaking through major resistance levels. This monthly here right at 116.5, pretty much totally eclipsing this lower high, blowing right past it. Hitting our next level of structure up here, right around 118.5. Showed us some rejection in the form of a rising wedge that gave us a bearish engulfing. So it came back down to form a structure level and confirm this transition. So it was confirmed once it came back into the 61.8 fib level. Again, a ton of confluence in here. Let's just take a look for a second. Again, major structure level here, 117, 200 EMA, 61.8 4-hour fib level. So that's enough confluence. So it found a nice bounce right here, almost to the pip. And then we started getting these bullish variations. So some engulfings here, another engulfing through the MAs here, and then 3 strong bullish candles in a row. Very good sign. Followed by some consolidation, another bullish signal here. Very, very strong bullish volume coming into the market. So let's drop to a 1-hour, and we'll go over where we saw some potential trades. So I took a personal trade actually after this had happened here. So there was this large push, large amount of volume. I wanted to enter on a retest. It came right back. See how this was resistance, established resistance, blew through it, now established support. Nice morning star pattern right in here through the MAs as well. So I entered on this morning star off this 1-hour 61.8 fib level, played it to the high, right? Basically a double top, and then it came back. I exited on this bearish candle. Again, personal trade. A little bit of risk, presented itself, so I didn't put it out as a signal. But this was a good example of a trade. So classic break, retest, continuation. Boom, good amount of pips were made there. About 68, 70 pips. Actually, when I closed, it was about 50 pips. Yeah, something like that. So then, price action came back down. So now this was another 1-hour fib level. So let's go ahead and see. Because this is a double top, it didn't really exceed 100% by a whole lot. So, we didn't consider it, a refib. So it was from here to, oh, I'm sorry. Wrong fib. From here to here. Right? Let's get rid of this for a second. Okay, so this was at 61.8, right? So low to high, boom, large bullish surge. Price action came back, hit the 61.8 as we said, came back up to about 0%, dropped back down, found some more support, a lot of exhaustion at this 38.2, as well as this main structure level, 118.5. And then, a lot of exhaustion, boom, strong bullish candle. This is where we entered. I actually put the signal out right here. Let's take a look. Right here. Boom, right? Large surge of volume. Clean, like this is basically a morning star, tons of exhaustion, huge bullish engulfing, a huge bullish candle. So this was enough to enter on. This was confirmation enough. This level had held so well. Clearly there's a ton of volume from the bulls rather than the bears. If you just look at the size of the candles here, the volume coming from the bulls is so much greater than the bears. So it's a good signal. Again, we gave out the stop loss, what percent to use risk, which take profit levels that you can expect to find some rejection from, or where you could consider taking profits, and then also just associated stop loss, what time we entered at, or what level we entered at. So it was right here, 118.8, right, and then we just saw continuation, huge continuation, a lot of bullish volume pushing price action up. It actually pushed up from our entry about 60 pips, and then it formed a flag, right? 3 bearish engulfings in a row, good flag, and then it continued. So typically, once a flag happens, you want to target the height of the pattern on the break, about 50 more pips higher. And this actually exceeded that by a great deal. It went up to about almost 80 pips, just about 80 pips. So again, yeah, this was a really great trade, right? So, we were managing it well. I didn't really get that worried once this flag was forming because it was pretty easy to see after the second bearish engulfing was happening. It didn't quite blow through the MAs yet, but it looked very much like a flag, and we were at break even, right? So once we reached 1-to-1, which is well up in this area, we took some profits, moved our stop loss to break even like this, right? So totally risk-free trade. and then it didn't actually come back to our entry, and then formed, confirmed this flag pattern and pushed price action much higher. Back to the MAs, and then a little bit of consolidation, and then more volume right into the market. So this was a really good trade. Let's go over the stats for a second. We risked 40 pips to get 80. Classic 2-0 risk reward, 2-to-1 risk reward, and it played out really well. So, we gave out updates as this played out. You can see, EURJPY2 was hit, move stops entry as 1-to-1 was reached, and so on. So yeah, this was a really good trade, pretty textbook. This was just on a classic retest, just playing in those fibs, watching price action, entering on large amount of volume and those confirmations. So guys, this was EJ trade review, and I'll see you in the next one.